Well, let's welcome Leslie to our group here. We actually haven't. And Julie, oh my God.
I was like, okay.
Wait, actually.
Where are you from, Julie?
From here, from Santa Ana.
Okay.
My parents are from Mexico though.
Okay. Can I double ask?
Yeah.
What's your birthday?
My birthday is April 19th.
Oh, okay, passed.
What are you, an Aries?
Okay. All right, let's see. What about you? Blanca, ask a question.
I took lunch with her, so I did ask a
Oh,
lot
what'd
of
you find
questions
out?
already.
What'd you find out?
She's only 21, Dan.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah.
She just turned 21. I
Yeah,
asked
that was
too.
surprising too.
Mm-hmm.
Where are
Yeah.
your parents from?
My dad's from El Salvador, and my
Okay.
mom's from La Ciudad de Mexico. So,
How do they meet?
they met here in Santa Ana. So I was born in Santa Ana. We moved up to Riverside, so that's where I grew up, and then I just recently moved back on my own. So
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
cool. So you went to high school around here?
I went to high school out in Riverside.
Oh,
So
okay.
yeah, I moved out there when I was 7, and then until like last year I moved out here. So.
Oh, okay, cool. All right, so yeah, we have two new people. So let's set it up here with Blanca, who always starts out the meeting. Let her know. So basically, what we do is we go around the room and we talk about our favorite line and how it applies to what we do here. Okay. So yeah, what do you have for us, Blanca?
Okay, this was like, I had a lot, so I think I'm just gonna go with page 236, the second paragraph, the last sentence, well, second to the last sentence. I personally feel that selling is one of the noblest of professions because when done correctly and with the right intentions, it engenders a very independent, self-reliant, strong, helpful, and extroverted individual who is indeed at a higher level than most. There's a lot of words there. I really like it because I just feel like we're always in the market to help someone else. They call us because we're their solution, you know? We sell insurance, they need insurance. And I just like helping people out. You know, you learn a lot about what they need and you learn how to sell differently too, through experience. So I just feel like we're in a good market.
Yeah, and this whole area of this whole paragraph is about negative connotation of sales, right?
Yeah, so it just kind of like gives you like, you know, it's not, well, I don't feel like so, I mean, yeah, I guess it's bad because you get projections and stuff, but you just learn to go with the flow and you learn how to hit those rejections back. Like if someone gives you like an excuse or they tell you they can't buy it because of the price, you learn how to sell it a different way.
Yeah, now this is a really good category that I like too because I think sometimes people look at salespeople as in a negative way. You know, it's like kind of like shady or like slimy or like kind of like a smooth talker or like ripping people off. So it kind of has like sometimes a negative reputation. And sometimes people who are in sales, they start falling into that. Like they start lowering their not self-worth or self-esteem a little bit. But depending on what type of sales, but in insurance sales, you know, we are helping people out. So I think this paragraph that you shared with us, Blanca, is a great one because it really gives you like confidence and like really makes you feel good about what you're doing. You know, so these are very good words, you know, very independent, self-reliant, strong, helpful, extroverted people who's at a higher level than other people because they're helping people. And it goes further on. I really like this sentence too because they are able to make friends, help others, calm chaos, get people to take actions, and great salespeople are leaders. And people who make sense of the situation, inspire others to do the right thing. So yeah, I think we should really be all proud of what we do and have the self-confidence and self-esteem when we're doing our jobs. I think that's really important to get to a higher level. It's like, you know, some people do their jobs like, oh, I kind of want to do it, but not really feel good about doing it. You know, they're not going to get to a higher level. When you're like, I'm doing the right thing, this is good for me, and then this is like, I feel good doing it, that's when you can reach higher levels. So having self-confidence, which you definitely have, Blanca, which I highly recommend everybody to develop that, of feeling good about yourselves and feeling good about what you do too. All right, cool. Thank you, Blanca. So yeah, what do you have for us, Jay? Your first one.
Page 233.
Okay. Did you see us do this on our social media before you joined us?
Yes.
Oh yeah. Okay. So it's real life now. Okay.
Second paragraph, second sentence.
Okay.
Overcoming your fear is just an exercise in doing something that will allow you to increase confidence in yourself and take your career to another level.
Okay, great. Why'd you like that one?
I think it's good, like as like inspiration, like to somebody who's like doesn't have a lot of confidence for themselves.
Mhm.
And just knowing that like overcoming fear is something good for them.
Mhm. Yeah, I think that really applies, especially when you're new, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Are you going through that right now, or it doesn't look like you are?
In the beginning, I think it was like my first few days, it's just like, because everybody's just so quiet, you know, but it's like, we're all busy working.
Uh-huh.
But it's like, compared to like my previous jobs, it's like, you know, people are just there in your business. And here it's just like, we're taking care of our customers.
Uh-huh. Okay, good. Yeah. What about fear as far as like answering phone calls and things like that?
I think, I don't fear that. I think
Yeah.
it's just conversating with the customer and
Mhm.
helping them out what
Yeah.
they need.
So you already have a good starting point too, because I think sometimes people in the beginning, they do have some fears, but you're gonna have some challenges where this is different, I had to call people or different situations. So overcoming your fear is a big part of being good at sales too, because if you're scared all the time, just in life in general, you're just not gonna be able to take enough action.
Right.
So we're all gonna make mistakes. Ali, we went through this a lot too with these book reviews. I think that helped you too. But you know, look at where you are now too, because you know when things were scary, you just still did them,
Yeah.
and that's the way to learn.
Yeah.
All right, great. Joe, you wanna
Can I go
participate?
last?
Yeah, sure. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, so I guess I really like the 231, and it's that first paragraph. It goes with what Jillian was just saying. The great thing about fear is that it isn't real. I know when you're experiencing fear, it might feel real, but it actually does not exist in the physical universe. This unseen and tangible factor called fear does so much to motivate some, yet it also immobilizes millions of people every day from taking the actions they need to take. So I really like this part just because, you know, I think a great example is like when we're about to like answer calls.
Mm-hmm.
I was scared. I didn't want to do it, but then it was just like a matter of just doing it and just, you know, keep doing it and just really mastering it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, or even myself with quoting.
Mhm.
I mean, I was quoting before, but this is a whole nother level of quoting, just
Mhm.
because we're doing more. I guess in Fred Lawyer they taught us it was more scripted,
Mm-hmm.
and here it's just like you find your way of how to talk to the client. You know, like you kind of know how to talk to the client if you like what. Yeah, you know, just how to talk to them.
Mm-hmm.
So I was scared of that, but now I'm pretty good at it now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, we don't like to be too scripted because each situation is so different.
Yeah.
You know, so if someone's saying something, you have to be able to adjust and adapt to that person's
Right.
conversation. So
Mhm.
that in a way, some people prefer to have a script because it's a little bit more, you feel more prepared.
Mhm.
But my philosophy is just go right into it and
Yeah.
just see what happens and learn from it.
Exactly.
You know, so yeah. And one thing I'll share you with you guys with about fear is that I think he talks about it in a different book, or I learned from him too, is that if you guys experience fear, that actually is a good indication that that's what you should do. So if it's not scary to you, that means it's like probably like stuff that is like maybe you should do, but it's not as important. So if you feel fear, that's a good indicator. It's like, oh, I should be doing this. Because if you're not doing anything, something a little bit scary, that means you're not challenging yourself. So if you feel like, oh crap, I feel a little uncomfortable, that means you should be doing that.
Makes sense.
Makes sense? Okay. So look at it as an indicator of not to stop right there, or indicator of like, oh, self-assuring yourself, like, oh, I should be doing this, and then get over that fear by doing it. All right. So use that as an indicator of like, oh, I should be doing it. Okay. So when you experience that. All right, but yeah, I think in this office, you know, making mistakes is going to happen all the time. So I think one thing that I want you guys to understand is that we want to keep trying. And the last thing we want to do is not take enough action. Okay, taking not action is bad. Doing something and making a mistake is not bad. All right. Okay, Maria, what you have for us?
Mine goes hand in hand with Alice. It's actually the next sentence.
Okay, great. Did you guys read the whole chapter?
Yeah.
That's good.
I have it like that.
Okay.
It says, with sales, fear can kill your chances of success, but here's the secret. The way to kill fear is by taking action. So basically, I highlighted this and I like this one just because it's true. If you don't take any action and you're just scared, like for us, if we're scared to call the client or talk to them to make a sale, we're not gonna make it because we're holding back because we're scared.
Mhm.
So we have to take action and actually call them and talk to them, and that's the way we're actually going to get a sale.
Yeah, very hand in hand.
Yeah.
We're talking about, but I think that's good because I think that resonates with a lot of us here. Okay, sometimes if you get a little timid, it's human nature to get scared of things, you know. So I just want, I'm really like that. We're really, you know, emphasizing this point here because that's what we can't have. We can't have a group of people that are scared of taking the next step of, you know, doing things or learning new things. Okay, so taking action is really the key. Thank you, Maria. All right, let's see what you got for us.
Mine was actually the same one.
Yeah.
But I actually liked
Okay.
a lot of it, so I took notes.
Okay, great.
But I didn't like keep track of what page they were on. But I know there is one with a sentence saying like, be prepared for any like incoming question and like just know your product and like know what you're selling. That way, like if you believe in your product or the item that you're selling, like you're gonna help others believe the same thing, you know? And that's how you convince and that's how you make your sales, so.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what line it was, but
Oh, wow.
238, yes.
Around there, the second decision, it was having.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Yeah, but knowing what you know, right? You gotta know what you're doing. Let's go also around. What about people's emotions? What did you guys learn about from that one?
I like that one too.
I feel like, and it's true, because when people are mad and you react to it, you're only like playing their game.
Mhm.
Like you're going nowhere. You're
Mhm.
stuck in that emotion with them, and it's like, you know, you're supposed to help them out of this chaos. You
Right.
know, the way you respond to them. I really like one of those ways of that.
Yeah, people's emotions. Like, you know, if you're like, you know, it goes into like relationships too. Like if you're like want something a certain way, when the other person wants something, and if you're getting emotional, the one that doesn't get emotional is usually the one that gets
Yeah.
what they want.
So then you just have to swallow it, swallow your pride, and then, you know,
Mhm. So with sales or customer service too, someone could say something during the sales process that could kind of like, you know, offend you, or you're doing customer service, say something that, you know, blamed you, but it wasn't your fault, and kind of like it could make you a little bit emotional. Just stay calm, right? You guys are good at that. I mean, we're a customer service game. This is not get emotional. Definitely can't. When they get upset, then you stay calm, right? So staying emotionally stable is a really important one, even with each other too. Or, you know, if I say something, don't get upset. You know, if some, you know, or coworker, you know, or just in general, emotional stability is a super important factors to remaining successful, because I've seen some people come and go here who just get overly emotional about stuff. It's like, it's not a big deal, let's move on here, and they can't, and then, you know, it kind of hurts them. All right, what about negative connotation sell? Blanca did a great job about that one. I think Leslie's one was not having the right response, right? So that's about preparation. Overwhelmed by customers' objections.
I like feeling like an idiot too.
Oh, yeah? Okay.
Because, like, the way he explains it, like, anyone's an idiot, you know, but it's
Mhm.
like, if you're gonna learn something from it, then at least you are, because you already felt like an idiot, and a lot of people have felt the same feeling,
Mhm.
but it's like, you guys have both experienced, like, you know, once you walk away from the situation, it's like, you grew from that.
Yeah. I think feeling like an idiot also, sometimes it's like a question of humility too.
You know?
So if you feel like you know everything, you don't want to feel like an idiot, that makes you not take enough action too, because you don't want to be in a situation where you feel stupid. But if you're in a situation where like, hey, I don't know enough, I still need to learn, then you're going to be more of an action taker, because it's okay, you're not scared of feeling like an idiot. You know, so humility is an important one, where a lot of times people could avoid situations because of their ego, and they don't want to be in a situation there where they feel like they don't know something. Oh, Jill, what do you like about this chapter?
Just like,
There's on 235 in the middle. It's just says practice drill and rehearse staying calm when others start freaking out. It's a skill that can be developed, but does take some drilling. So pretty much just like that, because it's when people are thinking clearly, things go better than
Mhm.
so
Right.
in any situation.
Yeah, in any situation.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a situation where you're panicking or getting emotionally like, you know, is there really isn't. So when other people are doing it around you, to being able to remain calm is definitely a skill. Another thing I really liked is when it comes to customer service on page 138, when someone says like, asks the questions that, you don't know what the answer is. Say someone asks the questions and you don't know what the answer, what do you guys say?
That's a good question, let me get back again.
This is a thing too.
Yeah.
Is that where you got it from, Tom?
Yeah.
You read this book?
I read this
Oh.
book, yeah.
I'll just leave that on.
Yeah, I trained that way, right? Yeah. So instead of saying I don't know, which isn't a bad, I don't know, let me find out for you, which isn't like horrible, but the better one is like, that's a great question. Let me find out for you right away. Okay, it just makes, it's just a, instead of saying like, hey, I'm not capable, they may like, oh, let me talk to somebody who does, let me talk to your manager. So like, that's a great question, makes them feel like, oh yeah, this is great, right? Makes them feel good. Let me find out for you right away. And that's a great way to do it. So there's a lot of good stuff on this chapter here. So yeah, thanks for sharing what you guys thought would be good. Hopefully this will turn things around and help us close some business. Okay, so yeah, who wants to say? Let's start it off, Laura.
Okay, so I like 2 parts.
Okay. Came ready, love it.
So the first one's on page 240.
Okay.
It's like in the middle where it says you really have no excuse. If you refuse to invest the time to prepare, I assure you that you will invest time in missing deals unnecessarily. So I like that part.
Mm-hmm.
And then I also like the part on 245.
Before you move to that one,
Yeah.
this one, what'd you like about it?
I just feel like you have to be prepared in order to close a deal. Like you have to know what you're talking about,
Mm-hmm.
basically. So if you don't prepare yourself with like the content that you're trying to sell, then there's no way that you're gonna sell it,
Mm-hmm.
and you're gonna lose out on like prospects.
Yeah. What are some examples of like preparing or investing time?
What I did, like when I started here, on my downtime, I would just look over the system.
Uh-huh.
And I would look over stuff so that I can, when I was in that position, especially like with Foremost, since it was a little bit more difficult,
Mm-hmm.
I would take the time to like see the questions so that when I did run into a situation with a client, I
Mhm.
wasn't taking so much time
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and like in silence.
Yeah.
It would be like question after question.
Yeah. So yeah, that's a great example of just investing in time, right?
Yeah.
Spending your time efficiently and productively. So that's a great way because a lot of times when people have excuses, they're not doing anything with their time. They're just sitting there like thinking of excuses. It's not like using their time to like learn or get better.
Yeah, or like putting them on putting them on hold
Mm-hmm.
is already like a sign to some clients that you don't know what you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, let me ask for you,
Mm-hmm.
instead of knowing right off the bat.
Right. So yeah, spending some time to learn. There really is no excuse to not do that. Cool.
So I like that part, and then I also like the last paragraph on 245,
Mm-hmm.
where it says the key to success is knowing how to stay motivated in the face of barrier stops and things not going quite the way you'd hoped or planned. The number one way for me to stay motivated is to stay busy, moving quickly from one activity to the next, without a lot of time in between.
Okay.
I like that part.
Well, you really proved that you read the whole thing by going to the last part.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
But would you like that one?
I like that part because it's kind of like with us, like sometimes we might have slow days, but we kind of have to like move on from that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's like kind of come in every day with a different mindset,
Mm-hmm.
like with a fresh mindset.
Mm-hmm.
Not dwell on that you had a bad day the day before.
Yeah. Yeah. I like that one too because staying busy, and moving quickly. Those are good motivational factors because you just as long as you're in the flow and you just keep doing things are gonna happen. So I think a lot of times when people get to a spot where they're not doing enough, that's when they kind of get into a slump because the activity goes down. So if you're just like always doing something, then things are gonna happen. Good things are gonna happen. So those are really good 2 lines, Laura. Stay motivated, and then what was the other one? 240. What part was that?
So 240. Well, this one was motivated, and the 240 is prepare. Invest your time.
Invest your time, yeah. Overwhelmed by customers' objections and just preparing, yeah. So preparing and stay motivated, yeah. Great ones. Thank you, Laura. All right, Jazz, what you have?
Mine's on 244,
Okay.
breaking the ice.
Okay.
The first little paragraph, it's always the salesperson's duty to break the ice when establishing a relationship. Customers have not called you or driven to your company to agree to an appointment because they're not interested. If you're going to help a customer get what they want, you need to get to know them. Sometimes just breaking the ice is a bit uncomfortable. The more you do it, the more comfortable you will become, and the more you believe in what you're doing, and less of issues it will be. So I like that because it's true. Especially because everybody has different personalities, and over the phone sometimes could be a little harder to break the ice with people, on the phone to try to get the sales.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like as I've done it more, I became more comfortable with it, and I'm getting better at it
Mm-hmm.
than before.
Yeah.
So
What are
I can
some
relate to that.
What are some ways to break the ice?
Making a little joke, or like, oh, I like your car,
Mm-hmm.
or like, oh, where, because sometimes they live like in Napa or something that I haven't heard. I'm like, where is that at? Or like, just like little getting interested on what they're telling you,
Mm-hmm.
Like the
asking questions.
the other day, she was like, "Oh, you guys have the same birthday in the same month."
Yeah, I saw that.
Oh, yeah?
Sometimes
Yeah,
it's
like the kid. and
like the wife and the husband have the same birthday in the same month, just like a week after. I'm like, oh my God, your birthday's on the same month?
Mhm.
It's expensive. And he's like, yeah, it is. Or like when they don't know their wife's date of birth, I'm like, wait, you don't know your wife's date of birth? That means you don't buy her presents. And he's like, no, I do, but it's because my head's on somewhere else.
That's not good.
Like little things like that.
Yeah.
So I like that part.
I think that totally makes sense that you picked that part, Jazz, because I think you're really good at that part. And I think that's just a part of sales. When you want to make a connection, or they're a little, they called you and they don't know who you are, and they're like, okay, I'm giving all these questions, they ask me all these questions, I gotta answer them, and then once you break the ice, you kind of feel a turning point where they're more loose.
Yeah.
They're like,
especially for me, it was a little harder at the beginning because where I come from in the other company, I would do face-to-face.
mm-hmm.
Sales over the phone were not really my thing. It would be appointment coming over the office. So at first, for me to sell over the phone was not super difficult, but it was kind of more challenging because, like I said, I have to break the ice, make me sound more interesting for clients to want to buy from me.
Right.
So instead of seeing me face-to-face.
Yeah, because face-to-face, they can see your body language, they can see you're really engaged, and they can see that you're really interested. Over the phone, sometimes you got to show that in different ways. Tone of your voice, questions you're asking. I think one of the best ways to break the ice is humor. If you say something funny, make them laugh, and just puts them in a much more comfortable situation where they're you just don't want to be oh, this person gonna rip me off. Okay, what can I say? What's going on here? Who is this person? Say something that they like to hear, and you make them laugh. They're like, all right, here's my credit card number.
Okay, let's just do this.
Yeah. So that's a great skill, and I like that. I really like that part. Okay, cool. What do you have for us, Kalia?
I have the exact same one, but I'll just go down. It's the same one. Sometimes just breaking the ice is a bit uncomfortable. The more you do it, the more comfortable you'll become, and the more you believe in what you're doing, the less of an issue will be. And then also the second paragraph, second sentence.
Mm-hmm.
You need to know how to approach prospects to make them feel welcome and at ease without turning them off or making them feel pounced on. It's simpler than you think. Approach the prospect. Do not wait for the customer to approach you. Well, it's kind of the same thing with me. It's kind of different. I'm not that much of a jokester like Jazz, but breaking the ice is to me asking them oh, why are you looking for insurance? What's the reason for it? Instead of just asking them plain questions oh, what coverages do you want? Which that's to me breaking the ice to them. Asking them particular questions on why are you looking for insurance, or was it too expensive, or was it the customer service, or what is it that I can do to make you feel better with our company? And yeah, that's why I like that one.
That's a great way, because you really want to. Then they feel oh, this person listened to me. And sometimes asking that question is important, but also following up with that by saying something that makes it conversational. Oh, I totally understand. another client had that situation, or you kind of break the ice by just having a little conversation before you just jump right into like, what's your license number?
Yeah.
What's your VIN number?
What cars you have.
Yeah, what cars you have, and just like so breaking the ice in that way is another way that works too. Just that, hey, I'm a real person. I understand what type of feelings people have, and I'm here to listen. So
Yeah.
those are good ways to break the ice too. All right, great. All right, Yi-chan, what you have for us?
Mine is page 238.
Okay.
On. So you can help anyone, you can effectively communicate with them. This requires that you are prepared for anything and everything and have a sensible and logical response that gathers your cause and makes you, your product and your company look good. I like that one because I feel like if I have more experience and like deal with clients, like I know what to say. Every time they have like different questions. And if I were a client and if I ask someone like the question and if they put me on the hold all the time, it's like kind of the question like, do they know like what I'm asking for? So like if I could like answer them like quickly, like I feel like they could like trust me and stuff. So yeah, I like that part.
Yeah, and that's where experience helps, huh? What are some ways that has helped you? You think?
The Japanese people tend to ask more questions, so like I have to know in detail. And if I don't know any like something like they ask, like I always ask you. So once like you teach me, like I know what to answer. So it's like kind of like build up like the knowledge and experience.
And you get better that way. Yeah, it's true. I don't think it's a deal breaker, but if you say, hey, I don't know, let me find out for you, especially for customer service and stuff like, oh, let me just talk to somebody who does know. So it's like once you know more, it just helps. And that's what Laura's point was, like preparing and then experience and going through, experience definitely helps. What I liked about this one too is like if you guys, may happen to you guys every once in a while too, even with this group, is that if they ask a question, you guys don't know what it is, what do you say?
I always feel like I'll always be like, okay, you know what, I'm not sure about that, but let me go find out for you. I'll be right back. And then I go tell Laura, and then I'll be like, and then I come back and I'll be like, okay, you know what, actually, they just told me that we are able to do that, or or we're not, or whatever the case is. I just didn't want to give you the wrong answer.
Okay.
And I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
And at least I'm like, I didn't say nothing that I already had. They told me, yeah,
I'm just be like, just bear with me here. Give me 1 second.
What does this book say to say? And that's like a 80%. That's like a B++. That's an A+ answer.
Great question. Let me get that information for you.
Yeah. Okay. So that part, what he's doing is not saying that I don't know out, because I don't know. It kind of makes him feel like, oh, that's not good, But it's not bad. It's honest actually.
Sometimes I don't say I don't know. I just say let me find out
Yeah.
for you.
But that's a great question.
Yeah, I put them on hold and be like, hey guys.
And if it's something that I have to call like farmers directly for, I'll just say like, you know what, let me find out for you. I don't want to mislead you with any wrong information.
Yeah. So yeah, getting to have it. That's a great question. First, you're saying like that's a great question. They're making them feel like good, like yeah, right.
But what if it's like a dumb question?
Then you should know the answer. Then you should know the answer, right? So it is actually a great question if you don't know the answer to it. It actually is. Okay, so compliment them and say, let me get right back to you in a great attitude, and then that gives people the confidence. I think people having confidence in you is one of the key parts of getting deals or not. All right, Martha, what did you like about this chapter?
19, rejection.
Okay.
Rejection is experienced by those unwilling to be responsible for the upcoming. And the second one is discipline. In sales, lacking discipline is going to be negatively impacting your presentation, motivation, ability to predict results, following up, and your ability to keep your background full.
Okay.
I like that because again, having discipline and all the way, it will put you where you want to be. And I guess me personally, I think I'm like on getting on time. So I think that I need to be more responsible with me getting on time so I can be prepared for my day.
Mm-hmm.
So I like that because it's good sometimes to see what you're not good at or what you need to be more good at it to
Mhm.
be better.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's a great way. I think sometimes people could read a book and be like, yeah, this is talking about me. I'm good at this. Yeah, this
And
is.
I wasn't prepared for today, oh my god.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Discipline, gotta read my emails. No.
I have that happened to me once with the
It's-
pants.
I-
Now I read them all the time.
I know, me too. I mean, like every single
I
one.
read 22, I'm like, oh, 22, I haven't read it.
Mhm.
But I, like, detailing the pages,
Detail,
like,
yeah.
I'm like,
Because even though we broke into chapters.
yeah.
But yeah, no, what I like about really what you just said, Martha, is like sometimes, you read a book like this and you're like, oh, I got this part down. Like, oh yeah, that's why I'm a good salesperson. I do, good at breaking the ice, or I do like, different categories
I think,
you like.
I like the break in the ice too, because I treat customers not just like customers, like, human beings,
Mhm.
like friends.
Yeah, you're really good at that. And then so reading each section and be like, oh, I'm good at this, I understand this part, but understanding, you read something and you say, oh, I'm not good at that. And the fact that you point that out, that really shows that improvement for growth, because you're self-aware enough to understand what you're not good at. And sometimes that's a weakness for some people, is that they only like want to learn about what they're good at. So reading a part of the book that you say like, I'm not good at that, is a good sign that you're going to get better at that in the future. All right, cool. What about some other parts of the book? What about fear? What did you guys think about that one?
I like the chapter I read that where his wife took him to
Skydiving? Yeah.
and that he was really scared, but he was not trying to show that he was scared, because I've done that too.
With what?
I act
Or
like I went.
where he went skydiving.
Yeah, I went to zip lining with my friends, and I actually was so scared. And at first I'm like, how bad could this be? Everybody went, and I was the only one that decided to tell them to take me back to the city because I didn't like it. It was so scary, and and I would act. At first I was acting like, yeah, it's not scary. You're scared? Yeah.
But
But
fear's,
then I was
fear's on
scared.
231 then.
Was it just?
Oh, yeah, it's the first
Yeah.
page, it's the
You
first
started off
page.
with 231, yeah.
Yeah.
It keeps going.
Yeah, well, that one was the part where I was like, oh shit, that happened to me too.
Oh,
I
yeah.
think it happens to you.
I like
Yeah,
that part where it says fears your sales career and your life should be an indicator and motivation of what you need to do and must do. Overcoming your fear is just an exercise in doing something that will allow you to increase confidence in yourself and take your career to another level.
Right. I think this part of the chapter, the last group liked a lot. Okay, that makes sense, because when you're new, you're a little scared. But Laura, that line is great too, because even with us right now, we may be in a situation where it's a little bit unsure of what we're supposed to do, and that could be fearful. And that's a natural emotion, right? So I think the line that you read does a really good job of is like, if you have something that you're a little bit scared of, that usually is an indicator that that's what you should do. Okay.
So sometimes I'm scared, but I'm like, maybe I shouldn't do it because that's what I'm scared.
Right, so that's the point where you experience fear, you're going to go this way, you're going to go that way. So when you experience fear, you think, well, oh, this is a good sign that I should be doing this, and then you do it.
And if you like it, then you
Do it again.
Yeah, you do it again. Yeah, and that's how I think we all been through that. It's kind of uncomfortable talking about this insurance or this like homeowner's insurance, or like you just. It's just a situation where a lot of people, because of fear, they lack action. That's what definitely we don't want at our office.
Sure.
What are people's emotions?
Never take it personally,
Mm-hmm.
never react to it, and never become emotional as a response.
Mm-hmm.
Like if someone's mad, don't be mad back.
Mhm. Yeah, that could happen, right?
Yes.
Customer service.
That can happen.
What about sales?
Sales, like when they start talking bad, like,
Mhm.
oh, you guys are so expensive, and
Yeah.
sometimes you can get into like a negative mind state and just kind of like shut them out.
Mhm. Yeah. So yeah, just have to like kind of like
I think that because
Stay cool.
yeah,
Stay cool.
because I can,
so important.
because there are some people that are very, like, some people are rude.
Mhm.
Yeah, so
Rude.
sometimes like, you kind of like already like, okay, like you kind of, and then it's happened to me like where sometimes like they're rude and you already know that they're not gonna buy and you're just like, like you go, okay, whatever, like, I don't say whatever, but I'm saying like you kind of try to rush them off the phone, like, okay, like.
Right.
But I
Thank you
think
for sharing
that's
that.
the same fear as a customer they experience, you know. So sometimes that negative way of the customer saying no or whatever, it's like more fear that they want to know what they get in before they actually make the payment or the insurance, you know.
Yeah. So basically, yeah, when it's emotional instability of a customer, it could be a customer, or it could be, or a prospect. Just have to play it cool. You never know. You might be able to say something that could turn that around.
Yeah.
Like let me not get upset just because this person is. Let me just think clearly. Oh, what about, well, insurance is expensive because, you live in this and then blah, blah, blah. And you say something really irrational and they're like, well, I guess that could make sense.
Yeah.
You may get to sell, you may not. But just don't give up because this person's, being a jerk.
Yeah.
Or even worse, I've seen people where they get a call, they're an asshole, you get off the phone, that person's an asshole, it affects your whole day.
What if I just need to relieve it, like, oh my gosh, she was rude? And then I go
That's
back to
fine. Well, if you're in the next call, if you're calm and collected, that's completely fine. You could go with, even like with if I said something, or if your coworker said something, or just something happened at your house, just being emotionally unstable is just not good for sales.
Yeah.
I'm actually not that kind of person. That's how I'm born. I don't care. Like somebody makes me mad for a little while, I'll be like, whatever. And then
Right. You're able to move on. That's a true skill.
Yeah.
Some people just cannot.
They-
Some
they
people
just-
cannot.
They dwell.
They
yeah,
dwell,
for
and
it.
then they time usually helps, but it takes a long time to get to a normal stage or a positive stage where you're just upset, truly upset about something for a long
It
time.
has a lot to do with pride.
Prideful.
Yeah, or ego. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. When you have humility where you're like, oh yeah, that person has a point, let me look at their perspective, it just gets you in a much better version too. And I talked about it in the last meeting too. It goes in even with relationships too. Like if you want something, the other person wants something, usually the more calm person wins.
Yeah.
Really?
That's
Let
like,
me
are you sure?
Unless you damn just scary.
Well, they think they're winning by letting the other person think that they're winning, but.
Like, yeah.
Okay, whatever.
Maybe I was doing like exercise at home with Luis, how to close deals on the life insurance, and he was like, fine, I was the salesperson, and he goes like, oh, I'm looking for insurance, but the price is too high. I got mad, and I'm like, obviously we're this company with that money, we're the best company, we paid off with the best customer service, and he was like, okay, but I'm not interested. And he said like, what do you think you lost your client? And I'm like, I don't know. First you got upset and your tone of voice was different than when you at first. Okay. And then you didn't ask questions more details why I think it's expensive for me. You didn't understand me. So that's why you didn't want to buy for you, because you didn't understand. I'm like, okay, you're right.
Yeah, no need to get defensive, right? Just agree. First agree, and then I can understand. I agree. It could be a little expensive, but what can you what would you like to see a little lower amount? So it's just being calm and rational. Just in any reason. I've seen some people here in the past that didn't work out, just didn't do too well in this business because of emotional instability. Just too much of this, And I think the ones that do really well in the long term are the ones that are able to handle the ups and downs. Things don't go their way, or you don't hear things, or when things change with the company, you're just able to remain calm. Yeah, and that, exactly. All right. Negative connotation of sales.
Uh,
236. What I liked about that one is when people have negative views about sales. Sales is kind of shady business, or it's kind of what smooth talkers do. They're ripping people off. They manipulate people. That's negative, right? And I think some salespeople hear that, and when other people say, "Oh, you're in sales," or they have a little negative view about the profession. So I think what this line does really well is in 236, salespeople are independent, self-reliant, strong, helpful, extroverted individual who is indeed at a higher level than most.
I like the one before that where it says that I personally feel that selling is one of the noblest professions because when done correctly and with the right intentions, it engenders a very independent, self-reliant, strong muscle. So yeah, just like that, but it's kind of like if you're in it to do for the right intentions, like you're not in it just to make money and then kind of like be shysty and, you know, and just try to screw somebody over and then that's it.
Right. Exactly. So this chapter reinforces, and I want you guys to know that what you guys are doing is the right thing. Depending on what you sell too, but for what we do is the right thing. We're selling good company, right? So it's really good and important to reach a really high level when you really feel good about what you're doing. I'm a good person. I'm doing something good, and you know, these words are really good words. I'm strong, independent, self-reliant, helpful. You know, ability to make friends, help others, calm the chaos, get people to take action. Great salespeople are leaders. So it's just really important for you guys to have the confidence and self-esteem that what you guys do is a true, you know, prideful profession.
And that's true because when I see, like me, when I go somewhere, like for example, when I'm gonna go buy a car, if the salesperson really helps me out, I'm like, this guy's a good salesperson. When someone doesn't help me out and acts like doesn't give a shit, like, okay, but no, you don't help my back. I'm like, yeah, that guy is a horrible salesperson,
Right.
you know. So for me, someone that's actually helps you out, even for him to take the sale, I'm like, he deserves it. He was great at helping us out, you know, like.
It's like game recognizes game.
Yeah, I'm like, he's a good salesperson.
It's like you respect it. So in a way, you know, when you're good at sales, I want you guys to be able to respect yourselves. Like, I am a strong person. I can make people take action. I'm a leader. I'm an influencer. So it's a situation where the true good salespeople are people that are prideful in what they do, and that's where I want you guys to get to. I think you guys are.
We're almost getting there yet.
We're always getting better, but having confidence is something that this group has. Overall, feeling like an idiot, meeting new people, breaking the ice. Okay, so feeling like an idiot. Okay, I don't think this group has it, but you know, again, humility. Okay, don't be scared. I talked about the last group. What's not good is not taking enough action.
It's not good, it's not taking enough action.
Not taking enough action. That's not good. If you take a lot of action and you make mistakes, that's okay. That's what I was trying to tell them, because you know, when you're new, you're kind of timid, you're not sure what to do. So if you're doing a lot and you're making mistakes and you become an idiot, that's okay. But have the humility, you know, because a lot of people have that ego, so I don't want to make a mistake, so I'm not going to even do it. You know, so that's what we want to avoid. I'd rather have you guys try things, make mistakes, and learn from it than, you know, have fear or have pride. I don't want to feel like an idiot, so I'm not going to try that. That's really what we want to avoid here, because we're going to take a lot of action, and we're going to be able to, you know, become better and better as sales professionals. All right? All right, girls. Thank you so much. Hey, thank you so much for watching my videos. If you haven't done so already, please make sure to subscribe. And then stay tuned for more future videos to help you grow your insurance agency. And also, comment below and let me know what you think. Until next time, thank you.